Hey guys, what's up? It's Joe Rady from Rady's Rides. We're back here at Crown Eurocars in St. Pete, Florida, and guess what? I have that one great sports car that still is available with a manual transmission. Is this car right here. This is a 2022 Porsche 911. This is a 992 911 GT3. But before we get into this rear-wheel drive, naturally aspirated manual transmission Porsche, let's talk about what's going on here. So guess what? We're down to the final model of the 911 that's available with a naturally aspirated engine. Every single other 911, from the 911T, 911 GTS, and of course the 911 Turbo, has turbocharged power. Now, what's fascinating is that for 2025 model year, they're coming out with a refresh, a 992.2. So this is technically now a 992.1. The changes are being shown. There's also a mighty big price increase on the standard GT3 with this refresh that's taking place. So what I want to find out is, if you're looking for the purest engagement in an upscale sports car, and you do want to dial that famous number 911, do you go with a 992.1 or do you hold off and get yourself a 992.2 GT3? Let's go ahead, let's dive into ours and find out. Right off the bat, love this color. It's called chalk, and I know some people hate these primer style colors, but it really just gives it such a unique, special look. A little bit more so than if you just go gray or traditional 911 Carrera white. Now at the front of the business, the changes you're gonna see on the refresh all start with the headlight design. So you'll see our existing headlight design, projector beam LED headlights. I love the way they do the quadrant of LED daytime running lamps. The biggest difference is gonna be everything will be concealed in the headlight housing for the refresh. What do I mean by that? What I mean is that you see how down below in the corners here, we have our turn signals. Those will be up top in the headlight housing. I love the way the front of the 992.1 has these air curtains that ram that air into the corners and then down the sides of the vehicle. And this is gonna be another big change. So for the 2025 model year 911 GT3, turn signal is now gonna be included in the headlight housing, and this kind of gets a different reshape to it. And so far, based off of the pictures, I'm not really digging it. I actually like this design a lot better, especially when we come to the front of it. But let me know your thoughts so far. When you go GT3, this is all flat black. I guess Porsche feels that if a person has a GT3, there's a chance they're gonna take it to more track days than a GT3 Touring owner, and that's why it's flat black. If you get a GT3 Touring, they come painted. This whole area comes body color painted. Now, as we come across that amazing front grille area, wire mesh on a GT3, you have your 3 individual radiators. Love the way you have your flat black on the lower lip that extends out. And like I was saying, this portion, the way that it's kind of has that lower mouth that extends out, looks quite a bit different on the 2025 GT3, which remember, that's a 992.2. It's a refresh. If you go Touring on a GT3, this is all body color. So this, on this car, if this was a Touring, it would all be chalk body color. Now, of course, love the way they do that traditional curve to the nose on any 911, and then you have that badge. From Stuttgart, Germany, love those colors. You also have these functional aerodynamic vents and heat extractors for those radiators, drags the hot air out. And remember, this is basically as close as you're gonna get. Besides the GT3 RS, these vehicles are meant to be produced so that those GT3 Cup cars can do their business on racetracks around the world. But let me know what you think about the front. The hood is gonna be the same on the refresh. Now, as we rise up, love the way the form follows the function. Looks so beautiful having those 2 vents lower with the wire mesh. And then that classic 911 hood. This is carbon fiber. All GT3s get a carbon fiber hood. What you can't see underneath the sheet metal is the steering knuckles. The steering knuckles, one on each side, are actually now borrowed from the GT3 RS. So you're getting suspension components from the GT3 RS. And you can get a YSAC package first time ever on a 2025 911 GT3, which would give you some carbon fiber bits like carbon fiber sway bars, which are also from the 911 GT3 RS. Now, as we come around the bend, wheel design is really on point with this GT3. You got the satin black wheel. Love the large Y-spoke design. You have your steel brake rotors with your standard red Brembo calipers, 6-piston calipers with the Porsche script. I know everybody says, oh, you got to get PCCBs, which remember are the Porsche carbon ceramic brake rotors. If you're taking your car to a track, I think you're going to want to go with the steel rotors. It allows a lot more variety with pads, rotor material, and everything else. I know that the PCCBs do have less brake dust, which that I know for many people is a concern because it requires more cleaning. But for me, part of the cleaning of my cars is part of the love, right? That's what it's about. But you do get center lock wheels, and those rotors are 15 inches in diameter. Still going to get some amazing braking. We do have our Michelin Pilot Sport Cup 2 tires, nice sticky track day tire, and we have PASM, that Porsche Adaptive Suspension Management System, all four corners, and a GT3 does sit lower than your standard 911 Carrera. If you're going to get a 992.2 GT3, different wheel design. Now, coming down the side of the vehicle, color matched on your mirror caps. This one has the GT3 vinyl that's been taken off, so you could get it debadged from the factory. You don't have to have it say GT3 on the door, but usually in black, or you could change the color. GT3 is usually shown on the door. This one doesn't have it. Love that nice, beautiful silhouette. You do have the flush mounted door handles. The only 911 that doesn't have the flush mounted door handles is the GT3 RS and the 911 ST, because those have carbon fiber doors. Love that flared fender. Coming into the rear. Now, rear, you're still getting beefy brakes, beefier tires, 315s out back, 30 series sidewall, and you're getting a limited slip diff to get the power to the ground. But I'm just loving, like I said, the color combination on this one really just makes my heart pitter patter. Swinging around, of course, you're gonna get that swan neck spoiler. What they have discovered is that with the swan neck wing, this creates less drag, gives you just the amount of downforce is going to be increased, and you have less drag. It is adjustable, and this is large enough to eat your Thanksgiving Day dinner right off of. You could have your turkey, cranberry sauce, stuffing, and the rest of the fixings. Really gives it that unique style to the GT3. You automatically say this is a GT3. You're also going to get the addition of this ducktail spoiler underneath. Love the way it's got the 4.0 badge. That's not your freaking GPA from high school. That's a 4-liter, and we'll talk more about what's going on with that in a second. That same wire mesh. And then this one has the clear taillight lenses with the clear bar that goes all the way across, blacked out on the Porsche script with the GT3 badge. And then working our way down the ground level, you're gonna have that massive diffuser. Comes right off of a freaking race car, man. It's absolutely gorgeous. And it's the rear end that on the 2025 model year 911 GT3 that also gets a refresh. Little bit of different style to the rear of the 2025, but love having the dual outlet exhaust in the center. Nice sport tips, gonna give this engine a great sound to it. But why don't we go ahead, let's pop this back lid area and see what we can find out about what's powering our GT3. All right, guys, one of the saddest things about the GT3 is even though it has a flat six, a 4-liter flat six with 6 individual throttle bodies, you can't see any of it. So when you're looking at the back, when I say pop the rear back hatch, this is all you're getting when you pop the rear. But what are we talking about? What's underneath that sexy rear end of bodywork? 4-liter flat six, 502 horsepower, 346 pound-feet of torque. You can get a 7-speed PDK, or ours is the last of the great 6-speed manual transmission. Top speed 198 miles an hour. Quarter mile goes by in 10.7 seconds at 129 miles an hour. And 0 to 60 right around 2.8 seconds. MPGs, 15 in the city, 19 on the highway, and the vehicle weighs right around 3,200 pounds. When you compare that to the Z06, you're approaching 3,800 pounds. When you compare that to any of the other supercars, the McLarens and the Ferraris, the weight of those is just going up, up, up and away. This, still at around 3,200 pounds, is quite light for a modern performance car. But why don't we go ahead, let me close this hatch. Wow, that was tough. Since we have the hatch closed, let's fire up this GT3 and hear what it sounds like. All right, guys, we're in it to win it in this one. This 2022 Porsche 911 GT3. I know you're saying to yourself, well, Joe, how much is this particular Porsche? Well, first of all, let me tell you that if you're going to hold out for a 2025 911 992.2 GT3, starting price is $40,000 more than this generation, the 992.1. Just something to think about there. That's not even including the new Y-Sock package, the magnesium wheels, none of it. That's just starting price. Now, of course, GT3s are very hard to get allocations for, so pricing is going to reflect that. Asking price for this one is right around $248,000. Let's see if it's worth going this route or holding out for a new one. To the door panels. I like the clean style. Soft touch material. You actually have the chalk gray trim. That's an option. Brought into the interior. Race text material. That is Porsche's fancy name for Alcantara, with the contrast stitching. And a door pocket that's large enough to where you could get 2 sweet buns in there, and that's about it. Now, going from the door panel to the dash, soft touch material. The chalk looks fantastic. Slide on in, you got your Sport Chrono package with your chronograph clock up top that can be used as a stopwatch. 10.9-inch infotainment system as before. You got your chassis settings that you could adjust, sport and track, your sport exhaust, all those goodies all by the touchscreen. This is unchanged for model year 2025. You also have your toggle switches. Put on the sport exhaust, put on the track, sport, suspension, whatever you want to do. Love the nice, clean, small AC vents. You do have dual climate control with real knobs. The zonk is this. I wish that they could put chalk or something instead of this gloss black, but this is where the magic happens in this 911. Slick shifting, 6-speed manual transmission. Love the short throws, crisp engagement, and that shift knob is just a piece of Porsche perfection. You got a GT3 badge, just to remind you, you went big on this one. The chalk cup holder, but you're not drinking in my Porsche. Race text on the armrest, lift it up. You got enough room for some wires. Ooh, what's this? I love it when I find little surprises. I have a special coin here. Very, very special coin. This actually is a get out of jail free coin. So I'm definitely gonna hold on to this. You get pulled over, which you're gonna wanna run a radar detector in here. One of my pieces of advice, and I would go Valentine 1. If you do get caught, you got your get out of jail free coin. I'm holding on to that one. Where's my pocket? Put that in my pocket, because you never know. Seats, you got the carbon fiber sports seats, leather with the stitching, manual adjustments, except for some electric adjustment to kind of get the front tilted a little bit. But I mean, look at the carbon fiber, for God's sakes. The GT3 embroidery in silver. Steven's gonna squeeze in between the two seats here and show off that there's no back seat. Back seat, delete. If you really want a back seat, which I think you're out of your mind because it's not a very large back seat, and you're getting a GT3, get a 911 Carrera if you want a back seat. If you do want a back seat for the first time, model year 2025, you can option in a rear seat. Rear seats, 2 of them, not just one. Race Tech's headliner. Seats feel freaking fantastic in here. And what's fascinating is that the GT3 hasn't been really available for that long. 2025 will mark the 25th anniversary of the GT3. So that means Y2K, the year 2000, was the first time that a GT3 was ever available for purchase by the public. But why don't you come over here at the business end? I want to show you behind this beautiful steering wheel in this GT3. Come on over. All right, guys, business time behind the wheel. Love the GT3 aluminum sill plate to welcome you. Pedal box, perfect for a race car. Nice size dead pedal, clutch, brake, and throttle. And then, of course, the seats. Let's be honest, they do suck a little getting in and out of, but once you're in like Flynn. And I'm telling you right now, these are some of the most comfortable seats once you're in. When you're getting in and out, you're probably gonna rack your family jewels and it's gonna hurt a little. But this is one of those things where the pain is worth it. The pleasure is worth the pain. Plenty of headroom. Put on your helmet. Steering wheel, look at this. The leather, the beautiful contrast stitching. You got your thumb wheel drive controls. It is a manual tilting and telescoping wheel. And you do have your ignition start that you twist still on the left-hand side where it belongs. Last year, this is it, the last gen of an analog tach. So if you go new 911, you're not getting an analog tach. You're getting their all-new digital gauge cluster. But I love the way it's analog in this one with the digital information. Obviously, I'm not showing you the frunk. It's real simple. You open it up and you put crap in it. I don't care. What I care about, if you're ready, I'm ready. Let's go on throttle in this GT3. All right, guys, we are inside this drop-dead gorgeous 2022 Porsche GT3, 911 GT3. The great news is that whether you're getting a 22, a 23, a 24 GT3, they're all the same. It's a 992.1. 2025 is the refresh. Trying to really stress that, but if you're ready, I'm ready. Let's hear what 9,000 RPM sounds like. On throttle, here we go. God, I love this sound. The car is so buttoned up. It really is. It's so balanced, each corner to perfection. This 6-speed is probably gonna be one of the best to go down in history, and probably the best modern day 6-speed manual transmission. Yes, better than a 6-speed Tremec and a Shelby GT350 or GT350R. These seats, like I said, once you get in, they feel great. But it's that eargasm that you get every time you go on throttle with that flat six individual throttle bodies. It's a thing of engineering perfection. It really is. And it's one of those cars that it may not be the fastest in a straight line. It may not be the fastest 0 to 60. but the experience that it gives you is second to none. I don't care if you have a Z06, I don't care if you have a McLaren blah blah blah, a Ferrari this, that, or whatever. This car is pure driving engagement. You ready? On throttle, here we go. Rev, 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 rev. On those brakes. Look at the downshifts. Woo-hoo-hoo. Clutch action is perfect. On those brakes, look at this. Turn in. Nice. You have rear wheel steer. And of course, that's helping you really get around those bends. But those grippy Cup 2 tires and the brakes, like I said, even though they're steel, you're still gonna stop on a freaking Euro and give everybody some change over there in the EU. That's for sure. Visibility is fantastic. I'm gonna say it like I always say it. Once you get behind the wheel of a 911, it all makes sense. It makes sense why this car is an evolution. It makes sense the way that the cockpit is set up the way it is, because it's just, you have perfect vision out the windshield. You got the peaks of the two fenders. Out back, yeah, the spoiler gets in the way, but are we gonna cry about rearward visibility? I hate reading magazines, car review magazines and stuff, where they're like, the rear wing blocks your view. Well, no kidding, genius. It's a freaking rear wing, and this is a GT3. Duh. 6-speed all day long. Look at this. Look at this. The grip is just, you feel confident. You feel inspired. I feel like a freaking artist right now. I feel like a poet being behind the wheel of this car. And the kind of poetry that I'm putting out is just the perfection of the transmission, the sound of that flat 6. Are you ready? Second gear. On throttle! Watch how well it holds the line. Look at this. La da 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 da. Nice, nice. Give it to me. Give it to me. Yes. Where is it? Oh my God. Oh, I got eargasms. I got all sorts of gasms going on right now. Jesus. This car, what it does to me, and it just asks for more. It's like you think, oh, this is all the car could take. It says, no, give me more. Go deeper on the brakes. Go faster through the gears. It loves it. It loves it. And I love it too. The sound. And there's not a lot of new modern cars, because obviously throttle cables are a thing of the past. They've been a thing of the past for a long time, but this is one of those cars where I feel like a throttle cable is tied around my big toe on my right foot. That's how seamless, how smooth it is when you get on throttle. And you have that linear delivery. Yeah, there's not much down below, but you get above 4,500, it's on like Donkey Kong. You ready? On throttle, here we go. Knuckling the steering wheel. I feel good. I feel in control. And damn, I could do this all day long. But we know how this works, right? I know how this works. I can't keep them all. Lori would kill me. But it'd be a good way to go. But we need to get this back to Crown Euro Cars. or I'm gonna have to use that get out of jail free coin today. But thanks for going on throttle with me. Thanks for riding shotgun. And it's time to wrap this one up. So I'll see you in a split second. All right, guys, been another great day here at Crown Eurocars. Definitely got to thank Michael and the rest of the crew getting us access to this 992.1 GT3. Let me know what you think. Are you happy with what you see? Or are you gonna hold out and go for a 2025 992.2 GT3? Let me know down in the comment section. But if you're new to the channel, you're on your way out, hit the subscribe button. I promise you it's worthwhile. I'll come back for more. If you are a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Raised Rides family. Got to give it up, Stephen Flood. He's working that camera like the champion that he is. He's wearing his championship belt that he won in the YouTube videography competition last year. Hopefully Stephen could hold on to that belt. Thank you, Stephen, for your hard work. And just like always, guys, I'll see you on the next ride.